Tricology family, and welcome back to another episode of the Tricology News Talk. And before we get into today's news and announcements for today, everyone, let's welcome back one of our favorite special guests that you've seen on the episode before. So everyone, please welcome back Donaze Keys, and also my co-host partner for Respect the Combat. Donaze, what's up?
I'm soaked.
Yeah, I know. Here in Florida and of course Atlanta, there where the rain is crazy. So of course we got is it Tropical Fred or like Storm Fred, as they say? Storm Fred. Yeah.
Lightning storm.
Yeah.
To be more specific, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get on this call because I was walking home, T-storm, and power went out on my way for a good solid 5-10 minutes, and I was walking maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so it was crazy.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I used to when we was at Atlanta, I used to walk sometimes to get somewhere, and the rain, I had to go near somewhere out of the rain and just wait for it to stop and then just go back walking.
I had no choice because I had to get home.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. So if y'all have crazy rain over there, wherever you is, I know Fred is acting crazy. Just stay safe out there, y'all. But
oh yeah, Fred, Hurricane Fred.
Yep, or is it Tropical Fred? I don't know, whatever they call him. Whatever they call him.
Oh my gosh, it's whatever.
Yeah, but before we get into today's episode, you want to give a special announcement as we relates to Respect the Combat?
September 3rd, we are back. And yeah, Trico, myself, Eric, and a few others, we've all been just focusing on our own personal projects and personal lives a lot. Coming back together September 3rd, and let's just say, Don't Question the Roar My Heart is probably going to be the theme of it. And if you know where I'm going with that, sorry. I mean, yeah, sorry. You know where I'm probably going to end up talking about it. But if you don't, stay tuned. We'll see you on September 3.
Of course. So that's to be on Labor Day weekend. So I know everybody is getting ready get a barbecue, go out to the beach, and stuff. But every Friday we will be here. So
we're coming back back better than ever.
All right. And before we get into our normal topics that we have today, but we have a little bit of extra that just came in to my knowledge. So we're going to get those out of the way before we get into our original scheduled topics. So our first piece of news is that Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, has been delayed once again. It was supposed to be released on September 24th, but now it's going to be released on October 15th, the same day that Halloween Kills is going to be out on that weekend. So we got a little head-to-head competition for that weekend. So I know I'm still going to see both, but I don't know if I'm going to see both on the same day or a different weekend. But it is what it is. And the other piece of news is that you normally when people you just hate freaking remakes or just sequels that just don't matter. It just don't live up to maybe the first original or the second sequel. But we are getting another Home Alone movie, and that's going to be exclusively to Disney Plus. And this one will be entitled Home Sweet Home Alone. So yeah.
Who's going to play Kevin? Because Macaulay Culkin would be the daddy.
No, Kevin. Unfortunately, the Kevin Callender character is not in this movie. It's just a revival. So here's the description that that deadline reads. Disney Plus said that 20th Century Studios' Home Sweet Home Alone, the revival of the Home Alone holiday film franchise, will premiere exclusively on Disney Plus on November 12th. Eli Carpenter, Rob Delaney, and Archer Yaz top line the Doublemans directed film, which is the first of the line of planned Disney refreshes of Fox titles post-emerge. So it follows a new kid on the block, Max Mercer, a mischievous and resourceful young boy who has been left behind while his family is in Japan for the holidays. So when the married couple attempted to retrieve a priceless homeless sets on their sights on the family's home, it's up to Max to protect it from the trespassers.
That's just crazy. I'm just still tripping over the fact that we're getting a Home Alone reboot, man.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it just by the fun of it. I'm not gonna like it, but if I have anything good about it, I'll probably will say on a movie review, but I wouldn't count my breath on it. I wouldn't count my breath.
Well, I saw last time I was on here, speaking of movie reviews, and I know we're gonna, one of the first topics is Warner Brothers. The freaking Space Jam movie. God, I saw a few reviews of that, like full-length reviews with spoilers. I'm kind of glad I did, and it pissed me off. And I haven't even watched the actual movie, but it pissed me off.
Bro, it was almost the same, but it's just different for the kids for this generation. And plus, you had LeBron in there, and like they take it's basically like, you remember the old NBA Jam games? It was basically just that, but in a new format, in a new technology. So that's what basically that was. That's what it was.
Wrong. And I'm gonna say why right now. The freaking Space Jam: A New Legacy was an HBO Max and Warner Brothers, scratch that, Warner Media 2-hour infomercial. That's all it was. And I hate movies like that. And I'm not gonna do it because I've done it enough over the last couple of years. But, and I do mean but it is crazy that A New Legacy was nothing but, and you could probably find it, how many videos on it, how many Easter eggs there are. And this, let me see. I gotta look this up.
Oh, there was a lot of Easter eggs. It was just.
Yeah. I'm talking about time.
Yeah, it's just a
2-hour movie. This 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it was a 2-hour movie. It was a 2-hour.
Yeah, I was trying to get the exact time to say, but.
And I've been saying this, like, this is just Warner Brothers, like, way of copying Ready Player One and Rob Breaks the Internet. Okay. That's all that was.
Well, honestly, I've hated movies like that for the last 5 years, and it will stain. Heck, it stained my love for donuts. That style of movies. It stained my freaking love for donuts.
It's like you want to get that good taste, but you can't get that bad taste out of your mouth. But you can't get that.
Go freaking Power Ranger. Thank you, Saban. And heck, I'm gonna stop. Shall we just hop into from stick on Warner and just talk about the doggone AMC strikes?
Well, Warner Brothers are trying to get on the good side for all the theater chains. So they already reached a deal with Regal to put all their 2022 movies in theater run for 45 days. So they have struck the same deal with AMC to run their movies for 45 days in their theatrical window, and then after that 45 days, they can release it on streaming as of course HBO Max and also video on demand. So they're trying to get back on the theater chain's good side, and because they're I know that they was pissed because of with this year's being day to day on HBO Max, but you got to understand this pandemic is kicking our asses. So many people are not comfortable going back to the theaters. So, well, at least we had a good run for this year, but I think they say now it's time for everyone to go back to the theaters and support us. But what if they don't go back? But
heck, we might end up on another lockdown, like another nationwide lockdown, and I have a gut feeling about that.
I hope not. Jesus Christ, we don't need that. With this Delta variant, people are not getting their freaking vaccination as they should be. But not just the Florida governor, but the Atlanta governor, Texas governor. They don't know what the heck they doing. I don't know what the hell they doing.
Bruh, it's to the point where, honestly, just I love the fact that the governor of New York, even though it's kind of forced vaccination, it's making New York get the vaccine. Like every New Yorker get the vaccine if you want to actually have a social life.
Man, it looks like this pandemic ain't gonna be over anytime soon. But
2022 or 2023.
If everybody can get this stuff straight, hopefully 2022, but not, it's gonna continue on to 2023. That's my prediction. But since Warner Brothers are trying to get back on the good side with all the theater chains, there's one person that's cut ties with Disney, and that's Scarlett Johansson. So you heard
that was stupid.
So you already know the story. Scarlett Johansson was pissed because of Disney's decision to release Black Widow not only in theaters but premium access for on Disney Plus. But it was doing good in both ways. Like it still made a lot of money in the box office, and there were still people that was not comfortable going back to the theaters, and then some people are comfortable watching on Disney Plus on premium access, even though the price is crazy. But other than that, it was doing great. But
I don't. Basically, we're paying for a date for two for just to watch Black Widow at the house.
I know, and then there was another thing
because wasn't it like I know Disney Plus is close to 20 unless you have it under your Verizon plan, which I do. And then like the movies that have come out in like the last couple of years have been just relegated up to $30 to see day one, which let's not get started on Mulan, which moves suck.
I mean, yeah, but the one that kind of benefited from the premium access was Raya and the Last Dragon. I think that kind of good for itself as far as the movies that went to premium access. But of course, not only Scarlett Johansson wanted to sue Disney, but also Emma Stone wanted to sue Disney as well over when she played Cruella, even though they had the rumor they might do a sequel. But that's for another story. But back to Scarlett Johansson. But now that she's cut ties with Disney, she was supposed to do a remake, produce a remake for the Tower of Terror, which was originally made back in the 2000s, and Kirsten Dunst was in that movie. And that was like I think that was a long time. So she wanted to do a remake, but that's not happening no more. So, like, any projects that she had with Disney, no more. So, and some people say they did her dirty at the end of Black Widow. If I'm not spoiling anything, so if you still ain't seen it, shame on y'all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, my thing. Who are they gonna get to recast her in the Avengers?
Since the MCU is in the multiverse right now, so they're gonna be a different variant. That's what is it gonna be, a different variant. And of course, if you guys haven't seen Black Widow already, it's still not a spoiler, but y'all should know this by now. Her sister is gonna be taking over.
And who was playing her?
The actress that played Paige in Fight for My Family.
Well, this will be interesting because she had to get stunt doubles, and the stunts in that movie, which were the matches, were so cheesy.
Yeah, even though she did good. She did really good in the movie. Still, she did good in the movie. But she's gonna be the replacement and the new Black Widow. Going as we continue on in the MCU. But yep. So, and speaking of well, not cutting ties, but this is more a new announcement. So you already know that the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie is coming soon. So we got an announcement. Who's going to be voicing Knuckles? And that is the one and only Idris Elba. After people are saying, "Oh, Dwayne Johnson is going to be Knuckles," but that's not happening. So it's Idris Elba. I like the casting because you need someone who could play like a dark voice, not like a dark voice, but like a chill voice for Knuckles. So we'll see how he does. And of course, Jim Carrey is returning as well. The
Dr. Eggman needs to be in there.
Yep, he's returning. Of course, all the actors from the original is coming back as well. So that's going to be releasing next year in the summer.
God, I hope they actually learn their lesson and have a legit CGI and don't try to overdo it for Sonic.
Yeah, I hope not. But I'm pretty sure they learned their lesson. But if they could do just as good as the first one, the second one will be not far behind and being great as well. But moving on, and for all my Miami people out there, that goes to Santa Cheddar Forest in Miami. So it used to be a tropical park, but now it's being moved to Hialeah Park. Yeah, so good luck with the traffic out there. If you planning to go to Santa Cheddar Forest in Miami, I'm not. So that's for my Miami people out there. So and then lastly, as far as like entertainment announcements, and then we're gonna get right into to all the sports announcements. And so Sony closes long gested deal for a $1.175 billion acquisition for the animated streaming service Crunchyroll, following a U.S. departure of Justice Attributing Prove. Sony is set to combine it with Funimation to create an anime empire. So I like fun animation. I got the streaming service as well. But recently, I've been watching all the Crunchyroll media stuff on HBO Max. So I'm wondering how it's going to be different from watching all the Crunchyroll media stuff on Funimation versus the difference from on HBO Max. And then and another question is that is Crunchyroll going to be leaving from HBO Max to go, and now you just have to see all their media on Fun Animation. So I ain't got the details yet, but hopefully get those details soon. But what are your thoughts on that?
HBO Max is losing Crunchyroll.
You think so? You think so?
I mean, they've got Cartoon HBO Max should already have access to Cartoon Network. Why the heck do they need Crunchyroll?
I mean, for all the anime people, well, they got two animated companies on there. They have Crunchyroll and Studio Ghibli.
Are Ghibli and Crunchyroll like actually competing with each other?
Yeah. So,
because if they are, then yeah. And how you spell Ginobili? I'm about to look this up.
I think it's Ghibli. If I said type in studio first and then try to spell out.
Oh yeah. And then Studio Ginobili. Oh yeah, they're Studio Ginobili is getting ready to shut down anyway.
Well, at least you can still see some of their content on HBO Max. I don't think that's going away.
It's just crazy to think like stuff's this all over the place.
Yeah, you got the search.
Yeah, I got the search, and yeah, it's just crazy to think like Japanese tone and all that, all every which way.
Yeah. Do you got Fun Animation on your streaming plan?
Crunchyroll because it's free. I just have straight up Crunchyroll. I don't have it on HBO Max because I've already got too many subscriptions that I'm in and out for. And I'm surprised we went all the way. So yeah. Let's talk on Santa.
Yeah, like I mentioned, Santa Enchanted Forest used to be a tropical park in Miami, but now it's moving to Hialeah Park. So for all my Miami people out there that's going to Santa Enchanted Forest in December, good luck with the traffic. Good luck. That's all I got to say about that. But
well, no, wrong company. Oh, I think it is oh yeah, we still got Tokyo end results, which
yeah, so
I'm surprised. Please tell me we're gonna not just use this as a topic on Simone.
Nah, I was just rate the top three countries that has like the most medals. So that would be the United States, China, and Japan.
Which yeah, it happens. China and Japan, I think that it doesn't surprise me anymore, especially considering like a lot of countries couldn't make it and Tokyo is the location, and a lot of countries couldn't make it because of, I don't know, pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's if you guys enjoyed the Olympics this year, well, let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on that race that's happened? But until then, we'll wait on 2024. Let's see that what happens. But next thing, have you ever to catch UFC 2065?
265. I saw Derek Lewis basically, in his words, boo-boo himself and lose in the fourth round by
Actually, it was in the third round.
third round. So he only made it 14 minutes. I gave him 5 minutes.
Well,
so he got dropped as if he wanted to boo-boo in the third.
Yeah.
And it's always been that one big thing, and I hate to say it, like his cardio is trash. For all those Derek Lewis fans, I'm sorry, his cardio is straight boo-boo cheeks.
Oh my god!
But he hits heavy. He's a heavy hitter, and unless you like gas him out, and if he's got the gas still in his system, he's gonna drop you.
I was like, "What happened, bro? What happened?" Oh my god! And then, well, most of the main card ended in the third round, except for one, and in the first in round one, as you mentioned, Jane beat Derek Lewis TKO in the third round.
Guy got him, yeah.
Yeah, Jose beat.
He Otto's back. That's all I gotta say. Otto's back.
Yeah,
that's all you gotta say to that.
Yeah, it won in decision. Victor Loma defeated Michael Cesar in submission.
Michael, yep. Let me head to. I should have did this before. Main. Oh yeah, Tisha's back and actually got the run back on her. Michael Chiesa lost to Luke, and that one's gonna be insane for who gets a shot at the welterweight title next. Tisha's still low tier, but moving up for a shot at ironically another one of her former castmates in freaking Thug Rose, which that's going to be interesting if it's Tisha versus Thug Rose for the title.
Yeah, but we'll just have to see what's actually gonna happen towards them. But and then of course Tisha Torres beat Angela Hill in a decision,
which I just talked about.
Yeah,
Tisha over Angela.
Okay,
and then yes, Yedong versus Kenny. Yeah, I'm not too big right now on the bantam. Like the smaller the class, I'm less of a knowledgeable about, because it's like there's so many crazy fighters coming from every which way.
Yeah, but
so where it's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, but
yeah, 265 was wild.
Yeah,
but
it was a decent card, but yeah, it was all right. But most of it, all I gotta say, we had a boo boo accident. We had a freaking. What else?
I mean, Derek Lewis can say whatever. He just got dropped.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna say this about NXT before when we move on, which I think let's do that first, just so I can knock it out my system, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So let's go to. Hold on one sec. Let me put up the takeover list. Takeover list.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
NXT Takeover 36.
yeah. So NXT Takeover 36 will be a part of SummerSlam.
Oh, you re-say that. That did not. I'm helping you with your audio. Like re-say that.
Yeah. So yeah, we got.
Because I don't know what's in your background, but something weird's happening.
I don't know. It's like just the rain. Maybe it's going crazy. It's just the rain.
Yeah.
How about now?
And it's better.
Okay. So, like
and, yeah, there you go. You're good.
Okay, cool. So yeah, again, NXT Takeover 36 is gonna be part of SummerSlam weekend, and it's gonna be on Sunday, August 22nd. It's a very difficult time for NXT right now. So as we mentioned, there's been a lot of releases.
We'll be touching on that
a lot of
in depth. Like I said, don't question the roar of my heart is kind of NXT being compared, and now it's very hard not to compare it to ECW.
Yeah, but we'll get to that on when we come back to our
Respect the Combat,
of course, but
September.
Of course, but let's touch on these predictions for the card here. So
no, I don't even want to do a prediction because for me, for NXT, I kind of don't, because outside of one, and before we really dive in on why I don't really want to touch on it, freaking this card could have had one extra match and wouldn't have needed to ask for NXT UK to bail them out before they buried NXT UK. And freaking congrats to the wrestlings that are now, if you believe kayfabe, they're a family of 6. But if you believe IRL, and they're now a family of 4. Congrats to Candice and Johnny. Granted, now Johnny's going to be an NXT lifer because Candice is not leaving NXT for the next year.
And I hope they don't. I hope they stay. It's better for them than not going to the main roster. So,
yeesh.
That's how I feel. Even Tommaso Ciampa say he don't want to even go to the main roster. He wants to stay on NXT. So,
which we'll get to on the 3rd, which is why I feel like ECW, and I don't know, and I gotta agree with Pana Productions' video on it. I think that's kind of what hit is messing up with NXT. It's like Mystique and Flow Chart, because like people just saying screw the main roster, this is the main roster, I'm staying here. I don't even know, because yeah. And with the way that things have been booking, the booking as of late, let's run through these matches with bookings and contracts.
Of course.
And I will just say this. I will not say who's going to win, who's going to lose. I'm just going to say whether or not I'm interested and why, because of the way stuff has been booked and presented. And one is due to a contractual obligation.
Yeah. Okay. So, first off, we have Walter defending the UK NXT UK Championship against Ilya Dragunov.
Ilya Dragunov versus Walter, round 2. Round 1 was a banger, and they screwed up with having Pete Dunne go over this week. So, if they didn't, if SummerSlam weekend wasn't next weekend, they're gonna have to really do something in ring, because that was Ilya's NXT US debut for the title, and he had this mystique about him especially with the torpedo, before they did that. And now that they did that, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't I don't understand why they made Dragunov lose on his way to with Pete Dunne. Like that don't make no sense unless if Pete Dunne's going back to the UK, then I can see that. Like, but it just didn't make sense. But now the question on everyone's mind is that will Dragunov be the one to dethrone Walter? So, but
I know people are wanting, like some people are thinking Tyler Bate.
Where is he?
NXT in the UK.
Oh, he's in the UK. Okay.
Yeah, he's still the Heritage Cup winner right now, so he's defending that on NXT UK. So yeah.
Okay.
And of course, to bring the NXT UK title up there. And there's only one match, I'll tell you, only one match I'm actually interested in. A bit of a spoiler throughout this entire list. One match I'm interested on the Takeover. And as far as, because rematches have burned me dry, as of right now, I am only interested in one match in maybe a cat. No, actually, no matches on for SummerSlam really intrigue me outside of a cash-in.
But we'll get to SummerSlam in a moment. But moving forward, we have LA Knight defending the $1 Million Championship against Cameron Grimes, and if Cameron Grimes loses, Ted DiBiase must become LA Knight's
one hell of a butler.
So I think Cameron Grimes is going to get his moment because
this is like the third time for this match. However, the stip is always really just added to the match.
Yeah.
So I am actually, this is the one match I'm actually for. Granted, it kind of feels like, because Ted was real bad with his promos over the last couple of weeks. Granted, he can still cut a good promo, but 70s and struggling with his promos does not read a good representation of a product. So I, of course, am going for Cameron first. I don't know for Walter Dragunov because it is a toss-up. But this one, Cameron Grimes, straight to the moon.
Yeah, definitely straight to the moon.
Because he cannot go 0-3. He can't go 0-3 against Walter. I mean, freaking LA Knight.
Nah.
And basically make him and Ted butlers.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those stories. Granted, it's predictable. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think Cameron Grimes is going to get his moment. But now, and then tag team partners turned enemies. So you have Dakota Kai, the heel, challenging.
Wrong.
Yes,
she is not the heel.
Yes, she is. But Raquel is the babyface. Even though when Dakota,
this is heel versus heel.
No, Raquel is not a heel anymore. They confirmed she's a babyface now. She's a babyface now.
What?
Yes. Even though the fans was cheering for Dakota Kai when she turned on Raquel Gonzalez, but she is still
it's freaking Dakota's moment. And
yeah. And I'm gonna say this too. I think Dakota's gonna win this one because she's been at NXT for so long, and now with the even though she's a heel, the fans are cheering for her, saying like this is her time to be champion right now. So
heck yeah, because with Candice being pregnant, Ember basically being Ember in the company. What other veteran do you have right now to lead that division?
No one.
Other than Dakota. And sadly, what did Vince do on main event? Whoever is the idiot that booked it should get slapped. Because NXT's perennial jobber, Aaliyah, beat Dakota on main event before freaking Takeover. And she's supposed to be the number one contender. So does that mean Aaliyah's next in line for the title? No, that just means Vince can't book to save his life. But obviously, since I think a lot of people are convinced Raquel's going up to the main, it's going to be Dakota. And I will be 150% honest with you. Worst NXT year for NXT Takeover.
Yeah, it's been crazy, man. But
worst NXT Takeover year.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm going for the Dakota Kai on this one, even though Raquel has been getting a lot of momentum. The fans were with her around the way, but now it's time. They turn to Dakota Kai now. It's time for her.
Raquel's getting caught up.
Yeah,
Raquel's getting caught up because they need to do something with Rhea, and with the way Vince is looking at the main roster and calling people up now, Raquel fits that build way more than any other woman on that roster.
Exactly.
That's why you were only hearing maybe. That's why I was shocked when it was Shotzi and Tegan, but Shotzi and Tegan were the original tag team.
Yeah, because
I wish they would have just did the 3-person stable and called all 3 up, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And of course, I'm including Ember in that, but what are you going to do?
I don't know. I think Ember is staying for NXT a little while before she ever out the guy she does better if she does go back to the main roster, but that's for another story. But
honestly, Ember is, and I do mean this with all respect, the worst NXT champion, women's champion for sure, possibly champion of all time.
But moving on, Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly 3, or should I say, loser leaves NXT. Depends on Adam Cole's contract. And now their third match.
I'll cut you off right there. Don't you mean Triple H versus Austin? This is literally it's a 2 out of 3 falls match, but it's literally the same stipulation to a T. Stipulations to a T of Austin Triple H. And there's 3 stages of hell right after Austin almost got murdered by Triple H.
Well, if you have not there watched it, okay, for all of those out there, like this was back in 2001 and No Way Out in February. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H did fight in back then it was called a 3 stages of hell match. Like the first match was a straight up wrestling match, second match was a street fight, and then third match was a steel cage. First of all, both of them beat the heck out of each other, and then like towards the third match, it does end with a sledgehammer shot. Both of them almost try to kill each other, but Triple H hit that hammer shot before Stone Cold hit the chair shot, and then 1, 2, 3, Triple H won. So yeah, we are getting this same stipulation for the Kyle O'Reilly 3. So first fall, wrestling match, second fall, street fight. Well, the first fall was Kyle O'Reilly's choice. So the second fall was Adam Cole's choice, and then the third fall was Regal's choice.
Yeah. Hey. And then obviously, because of timing and how many matches, that's going to headline. But the match that should headline is the most predictable match on the card, but it's the match that should be a triple threat. And honestly, to be really a fatal four-way. But honestly, I feel like this is the match that is going to turn everybody off on this takeover, because of main roster booking.
Oh yeah.
Like Vince literally, like Karrion Kross has lost maybe 3 matches in his entire WWE run. 2 on Raw. 2 of them are on Raw. And the other was legit. Can he coexist with Finn Balor? Which I'd say watch Denise Salcedo's Straight to Hell with Ross Todell. And they even talk about, the fact like why the Can They Coexist storyline is so played out. You can find another way to do a storyline for a title feud than Can They Coexist, because it demeans the championship when you do that over and over. And especially if you do, and this is the one thing that really like upsets a lot of people for when it comes to the women's division, like women's wrestling in WWE period. Stop fusing the women's tag division with the women's singles divisions. Because legit, just about every, I'm going to pull this up with the NXT Women's Tag Titles, because I believe every set of champion. Okay. So Dakota and Raquel. Raquel's had the title. Is about to get the title. Ember Shotzi. Ember's held the NXT Women's title. The Way, Candice, and Indy. Indy may get the NXT Women's title pin on this next all Candice's time off, giving birth to Indy's baby brother or baby sister. And then, do I even need to say Ego's what she just got off of? But when you look at Raw, Monday Night Raw, if I can, Raw and SmackDown with the freaking, okay. Yeah, and this is when I gotta Google stuff, and I do apologize for the dead air if you're listening to the audio version. Okay, so Boss Nut Connection / the Golden Role Models. Bailey and Sasha legit have held all the gold. They held all the gold at one point in the company. And to the point where Asuka could have had like 3 matches in one night trying to challenge them all. Which Asuka, yeah, that was a doggone shame with Charlito. And they just did that so she can claim she's a Grand Slam winner. Alexa never held it both at the same time. Neither did Nikki. Asuka, yes, she did. Kyrie, rest in peace. Freaking. And the only other 2, Nia and Shayna, basically blended themselves into the Raw and SmackDown Women's title picture. Thank you, Reginald. And then Natty and Tamina, they're just there, as well as the Iconics. They were just there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like for me, definitely the longest combined days was Nia and Shayna. I think like the best overall champion were the Kabuki Warriors, pending on how you view it. Because the Kabuki Warriors actually one reign, brought so much prestige, and actually they wanted to be champions so bad. And granted, they hot potatoed them between them, Bliss, and between them and Bliss and Nikki Ash. I almost said Bliss and Cross, and I'm like, she don't go by that no more. Bliss and Nikki ASH. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's again another story. So, like we mentioned, Karrion Kross defending the NXT title against Samoa Joe, and I know you say your opinion, and I'm gonna say mine. So this is the demise of Karrion Kross on NXT, and Samoa Joe is gonna be the first ever 3-time NXT champion.
I hate to say it, but NXT needs to get away from the amount of lifers they have, because they have Ciampa, they have Johnny, they have Joe now, who's an NXT lifer. Like, you have KO flown in, NXT lifer light. It's crazy. Like, people just need to be like progress. That's another video that in there.
Yeah, but that's our prediction for NXT Takeover, and we're gonna get NXT more on the respective combat soon for that one. But now let's get into SummerSlam. But before we get into the predictions, let's do a little fun activity here. So, as you guys know, recently we did a WrestleMania tier, but now we're gonna do a SummerSlam tier. So we're gonna give our thoughts and opinions, which one was ranked worst or best. So here we go.
This is gonna be a long one.
But starting with the very first SummerSlam in '88, this was for first in Madison Square Garden, and the main event was the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks, and with Jesse Ventura as the special guest referee.
I've got that as a C rank.
I didn't care for it that much, but I got it as a D.
I got it as a C just because it was the first one, and it was a benchmark. It wasn't too bad a benchmark. It was just there. I'd say D for other ones, and they're coming up very, very soon, and I have my reasons for it.
Okay, so
it's a C or a D, but I'd lean more on a C.
All right, so we gotta go.
Just because, like, we all know where it ends up with the Mega Powers, and this was the build to the storyline with that.
Yeah, and then we have 89, which I like the main event for that one. Brothers Beefcake and Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage and Zeus, aka Debo. Again. And then this was kind of like if you guys seen the movie No Holds Bars, so this was kind of like the
No Holds Barred tie-in. I did not realize this was the No Holds Barred tie-in. So, but it's still C worthy. You're gonna see why I say C in very soon rather than D. Like, I would not put this on D rank because of what I'm about to put in D in our two of our next four, I should say. I'm about to put in D because of what they are, but this, because I would not put this on the same scale as that, is a C.
All right, so for 89, what are we putting? So we agree. We agree with
Yep, C.
Okay, so we'll agree with that. So we have 1990 and Of course,
This is the D.
this was the Ultimate Warrior versus Rick Rude in the steel cage for the WWE Championship. Again, I didn't care for that one as well. So you agree with me with a D?
I'm gonna say this, and this is why I didn't care for this pay-per-view. And in 2021 hindsight, we don't use pretty much the entire show narrative of pretty much buying somebody. Literally human, like purchasing another human, not what. And then Sherry's promo to where it was just crazy. Like DiBiase was on his I'm gonna buy whatever and whoever I want ish, and he pretty much bought Dusty's valet, a black woman named Sapphire at the time, and I think this was one of her final appearances with the company, was getting purchased in the 90s. So this one to me, because it was a show-wide narrative, D.
Yeah, I want to say both. I give it a D as well.
Yeah, and I do actually have all the way. Yeah, I've got basically a lot of wide variety in my D's.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting. I will explain later.
And then we go back to 91, and this is when they made their return to Madison Square Garden. And then the main event with that one was Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter, General Adam, and Colonel Mustafa in a handicap elimination match with Sid Justice as the special guest referee.
So it was Sid.
Yeah, Sid Justice.
So it was Sid, and it is a C.
You gave that one a C? You gave that one?
Yep. I gave 91 a C.
Okay. And then for 92, this is the first SummerSlam event to be not aired. This was pre-taped, and then also this is the first to be held at a stadium and also outside of the United States. The card
but it's still a C.
Yeah, the card wasn't that great for me, but the main event was awesome. That shows the British Bulldog defeating his relative Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship. So
yeah, it's a C though. Outside of that match, it's a C, and that match bumped it up to a C.
Yeah, I gave it a C too. But even though the card wasn't all that great, but the main event was definitely worth it.
Yeah, and 93, I'm just gonna say this. This was one of my D's.
Yeah, that was
because the show narrative was the Lex Express, the Hulk Hogan replacement experiment. Yeah. There's going to be some A's and S's that me and Trick are going to argue about later.
Yeah,
but
we'll get to that.
With 93 Lex Express, and it turned the Lex Express into a freaking the Lex Express was a failed Hulk Hogan experiment. He won the match by DQ. It's a D.
So we giving 93 a D?
Yep.
So I agree on that one too. So 94, which was the Undertaker versus the Imposter Undertaker in the main event.
C.
You gave that one a C?
Yep.
I gave that one.
Trust me, guys. I've got B's, A's, and B's, A's, S's, and B's, A's, and S's. It's just like the early 90s were all C's. Early to mid 90s were all C's to me.
They were mostly all D's to me. All D's.
Yep. So that's another C.
So we give that one a C.
Yep, 95.
All right. Actually, that was
94. Yeah, 94 is a C and 95 is a C.
of course, 95. So Diesel against Keem and Mabel for the WWE Championship.
I would have put that as a D, but the rest of the card was actually okay.
You get a C? All right, we'll put it as a C.
Yeah, the rest of the card was okay. It's just that one match that everybody remembers.
Okay, and then for 96, we have
B.
a B?
Yep.
Really?
Go through the card, I'll tell you.
Hold up. Wait a second. Even though the I didn't agree with the main event part. The main event part. But the one match that was really tricky was the Boiler Room Brawl match with Mankind. That was the one.
Yeah, I just feel like nah. Because Main was Sean and Vader, which Sean didn't want to play the ball that night. Boiler Room. Do you remember any? And here's why I say this. Do you remember anything else like vividly from that card? You have Goldust and Mark Mero, which, oof, Terry Reynolds and Sable, no. The Smoking Guns beating the New Rockers, the Godwins, and the Body Donnas. Nah, I was not a fan. Austin and Yoko, Savio and Owen. Like, okay, but nothing to be like, oh my gosh. And you're going to see, oh my gosh, is coming up soon.
Yeah. So, 96.
I went 96. I went, like I said, B, because of Shawn and Vader was okay. The brawl was dope. We remember Goldust and Mark Mero, but more so because of Sable and Terry.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll put it as a B.
I said C.
Oh, C? Yeah, I think that's
actually 96 B. B. 96 B. I got to mix up.
Okay. Well, we'll put it there for B. So,
yeah.
And then 97. This was the starting point for the Attitude Era with that one chair shot. So
the one chair shot to
Shawn Michaels was going for Bret Hart, but it essentially hit the Undertaker. So
you're essentially listening to WWE 13, but I gave this a B.
Yeah, I gave it a B too. But but in the stipulation of the match, it was the Undertaker defending the WWE Championship against Bret Hart with Shawn Michaels as the referee. And if Bret Hart didn't win the championship, he would not be able to wrestle in the United States. Or if Shawn Michaels did not officiate or call it down the middle, he would not wrestle in the United States no more either. And then for the rest,
like a step like that kind of tells you, what is going to happen.
Yeah. But then for the rest of the card, we saw Mankind defeated Triple H in a steel cage match, which was really good. And then the highlight of the night was the Tombstone incident for.
Ooh, yeah, that's why I put this low. Like 97, Austin and Owen. That's why this is low. It could have easily bumped up to A, 97, but Austin, Owen, you have so many incidents that start the chair shot heard around the world, which Brett and those freaking loogies. I don't want to talk about it, but yeah.
Yeah, even though Austin still won the match, but that injury led him to not only relinquish the Intercontinental title, but the tag team title that he was with Shawn Michaels at the time.
Yeah, and he basically said it's a lot and stuff's there, but he didn't want to work with Owen at that point.
Yeah,
like that one botch ended like Owen's possibility for being a single star at one botch.
Yeah. but then Austin returned, got his revenge on Orton at Survivor Series, and then regained the title back. But then,
and I'll just say this: I only have like 3 more that are going into D, and yet I've got some A's coming up, A's and an S coming up.
oh yeah, we got some A's and S coming up, but
yeah, I do. I'm the one that's mainly making them. Trico might argue with me.
But
where
okay, well, but where we go for 97 again?
97 was B. 98 is gonna be B.
Yeah.
Look at the entire card before you gauge it. That's what I'm looking at, the entire card, not just 1 or 2 matches.
Oh no. I saw the card. This was like a not only well, Jeff Jarrett losing his hair at a point to Espa. Edge also got a standing pay-per-view performance, even though he was tagging with Sable. And then we saw the debut of the Lions Den match, which Cameron Shenwar beat the crap out of Owen at the Owen beat him on the month after the month before SummerSlam in the Hard Dungeon ever for that. And
how the freaking Kai and Tai lose the oddities. I don't even want to know.
I don't know.
When Kai and Tai was an actual faction that had legs, and the oddities were just people Vince didn't know what to do with, which a lot of them I would not know what to do with. So yeah, 98 is a B. And I'm going from top of the card to bottom of the card. Was this thing solid, and how solid was it if it was solid?
I think
and I have one that I know we're going to argue over later. That is one of my season D's.
Yeah, I think the card was slow. It started off slow, and then right after, maybe like after the mixed tag match, it started to get a little bit better. So you had the New Age Stars beat Mankind, and then Kane's ditch Mankind for there. And then you had the another classic ladder match between Triple H and The Rock, which basically ended the rivalry between DX and the Nation. And then, of course,
are we talking 98 or 97?
We're still on 98. Just going through the card. And then the main event was considered the Highway to Hell.
Yeah, because this was Austin's big redemption story after. No, this was before what Triple H got kayfabe accused of.
Yeah. So we going with B for 98?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just because I think like the first 5, maybe 6 out of 11 matches were not good. And if you just go off main card, like it started with D'Lo and Val, then the oddities versus Kai and Tai, and then you've got Pac and Jarrett, Edge and Sable versus Jacqueline and Mark Mero, which that was just the ew. Ken Shamrock and Owen in the Lions Den, Outlaws versus Mankind, which who knows what happened, and that was for the tag titles. Triple H versus The Rock, which really before they went ultra combo on each other in a couple years, and then Austin Taker. Yeah, it's a decent half a show. If this was a Monday Night Raw in the 90s, I'd have been like, okay, cool. But this being a pay-per-view, I'm like, yeah, nah.
But yeah, moving on to
99.
99. This was a pretty good card as well. We saw Jeff Jarrett winning not only Intercontinental but the European title as well. And then the last too many good buddy members of the Nation turn on each other as well for that one. And then you saw the Acolytes win the tag team turmoil. Al Snow and the Big Boss Man continued their rivalry, and that ended in a bar somewhere for the Hardcore title.
Well, was this before or after Al Snow had to basically eat Lucy?
I think that was after. That was
okay. Yeah, because if this was like this was part of the build to one of the worst matches in wrestling history. So I'm gonna ignore that. But 99, I actually gave my first A.
Yeah, I gave that a too. The women's title match was kind of short. Didn't care for that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
You
used
have to think of the time frame. They didn't get long matches until Trish and Lita had that headliner at Raw.
exactly. And then you had the Lions Dead Weapon match with Cam Shamrock and Steve Blackman.
Yeah, like those two I can actually handle in a long match.
And Stephanie's first boyfriend, Tess, defeated her brother Shane.
Oh yeah, Tess has always been was always that underrated big man. Wish he would have gotten to do more, but ECW 98, actually 99 and 2000. I'm just gonna say this: my next two are both A's as well.
Yeah.
And I want you to sell me on how SummerSlam 2000 and SummerSlam 2001 are less than an A.
We'll get to that in a moment, but
No, get them both out now because there's nothing we can do that's going to stop me from saying SummerSlam 99 was an A, and SummerSlam 2000 was an A, SummerSlam 2001 was an A.
well, let me just say this now. Ed Spark and Billy Gunn got killed that night as well, but then Mankind, of course, winning the main event for the title. So 98, I mean 90, excuse me, 99 is an A. So we're getting to the 2000s, which I think was the best SummerSlam in the Attitude Era. So
depending on how you view it, because of the weird as heck invasion angle.
wait, the Avengers had in 2001.
But when did Vince cut the promo? Because the RA era started the pay-per-view really the pay-per-view after Vince cut that promo. And I feel like it was either SummerSlam was the first or it was the one before he cut the promo. And that would mean it definitely. So I'm just going to say this right now. 2001 buffets and sell me on how 02 is not Ness. Those are my next three. And I'm sorry I'm rushing this. I am stupid exhausted from work and everything, bruh. So I am not trying to have like 50 jillion explanations before I pass out.
But
and I'm trying so hard to give you and everybody here with the fan the best of me. I'm just out of it right now, and I've got Evo in about 14 hours. My first round Evo match, I should say.
well, I'm just gonna say for as far as the 2000, the first half of the card was kind of dead until everybody woke up when Shane McMahon died, and then going to the first tables, ladders, to chairs match, everybody was on their feet for that one, and then of course The Rock winning the main event. So we'll give that an A. We'll go with an A.
I was about to say you better not.
Yeah. So and now going to 2001, which was part of the Invasion storyline, and the last SummerSlam under the WWF trademark. It saw the WWF winning 5 matches to 2 5 matches to 2. But I was gonna say yes, but we'll give it an A. Just for source. We'll give it an A. And then the next one, I think you would definitely agree on this one. So 2002, should we say an S?
I said S.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it was one of the best SummerSlams. Of course, just by the card alone, we saw the return of Shawn Michaels for that one, and then we had the arrival of Brock Lesnar, or should I say the passing of the torch from the Rock to Brock Lesnar on that night, if you want to call it that. If you want to call it that. So we'll give that an S. And then for 2003, I think I gave this one either or A or B for that card. We saw the two former WCW owners, Shane McMahon, defeating Eric Bischoff. We saw Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar 2, and then Triple H redeeming himself from the first Elimination Chamber match, winning the second one. So, where did you put 03 at? Put 03.
I'm so sorry, guys. I am basically about to get angry over just rain damage and possibly destroyed iPad from rain damage today. But 03 I put at a B.
I'll agree to that. I'll put it at a B. And I think you agree with me with this one as well. I put 04 in D. I got nothing to say about that one.
Nothing good to say about 04?
Nope. And I think you know why.
Yeah, I put that at D.
Yeah, no, nothing said about 04.
In hindsight, D.
Yeah, that's a straight D. That's a straight. Okay, and then for 2005, that was a pretty good card as well. And then you saw two guys fighting over a son in a ladder match. And then we saw Randy Orton, Undertaker 2, John Cena defeating Chris Jericho. Batista got a win in his hometown. And then Legend versus Icon with Hulk Hogan picking up a win against HBK, Shawn Michaels. I put that one in B.
05, I put D.
D.
Yep.
What?
Hogan Mark.
All right.
And the fact I felt like too many of the Attitude Era went over the RA era.
All right. And then 06. This was the first SummerSlam to feature the ECW brand. And
B.
A B?
Yep.
All right. I gave it a C, but we'll stick with a B.
All right.
And then 2007 was the night of returns, especially for Triple H and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio.
C.
Yeah, I'll give it a C. I originally gave it a B, but we'll go with C.
I feel like if it wasn't for the returns, they focused way too much on the what if scenario, you know?
Yeah.
And not what they had. So, yeah. I'll be right back.
Go. Okay, so for 2008, I think this was a pretty good card as well. The first half was started out slow, and then the second half kind of build up a bit for this for this one. This was when Cena broke his neck for that one, and then
I put 08 at a B. Great in hindsight, but I feel like at the time it was just okay. And then the freak accident of Cena's neck, like we touched on, is what the show is like kind of known for.
Yeah. I kind of gave it an A.
So let's meet at B because I feel like Cena's neck is more. Actually, I gave this a. No, I gave it a D. Which one was this?
2008.
08? Yeah, I gave it a. I actually gave this a B. Never mind, because I got my numbers mixed up. Because 07 I gave a C. 08 I gave a B.
All right, and then the rest of my thing was straight D's, but you give me my argue for that one. So, starting off with 09.
I gave that a B.
And why a B?
09, I gave let me go to SummerSlam 2009, which there's some I think we can agree on, but 2009, I gotta look at the matches again, which you said D. So we got a 15 Diva Battle Royal with Chavo as the ref. Didn't care for that, but that was a pre-show dark match. Randolph IC title, always had good chemistry. MVP versus Swagger single, good. Jericho versus Crime Time. I wish it would have went the other way. Decent match. Kane versus Khali. I can see why you put that as a D. DX versus Legacy in their first match, which Legacy got him back in the tag match. Let's say call it for what it is. Christian versus Regal.
And in 7 seconds.
Yeah, that's just the way. At this point, that's what ECW was at. Orton versus Cena. And Orton couldn't get DQ'd or counted out. And yeah. And then Punk versus Jeff Hardy, which that feud really set up this portion of the transition into PG.
And then, of course, the return of The Undertaker afterwards.
Oh, yeah. So that's why I was like, I'm not going to say D on that. I said 09 was solid B because of that. And that's simply because, and the only reason I say B instead of higher, you got Beth, the Diva Battle Royal, which, meh. Randolph saw that a lot during 2009, but always a good match. Swagger and MVP, okay. Crying Time, but then Kane and Khali. So I would say C. I would give you a C on that one. I'd meet you at a C, but yeah, I would not go D on that. 2010.
Another D for me.
I agree with that. And this was the burial of the next generation. This was the burial of the next generation. The women had 5.5 minutes. Dolph versus Vicky. Dolph and Kofi ended in a no contest. Come on now. Big Show burying 3 guys. And actually 4 people. And Serena Deeb actually shaved her head. And this was like entire angle for Serena was what she even brought up in her injury like videos. Orton versus Sheamus DQ in his last chance match. Kane versus Ray, which led to why'd you do it, Ray? Nah. But the match that's noted for this card and the longest match on the card at almost 40 minutes without entrances and the pre-match BS between Miz and Daniel Bryan. The Nexus versus Team WWE and Super Cena struck. And it basically, none of those guys are with the company. And in the ring before you even try that. Because Ryback, Skip Sheffield, he ain't coming back. Tarver, yeah. Darren Young is now under his IRL name, Fred Rusher on Strong. He, before he got hurt, was with Impact. Justin Gabriel, a.k.a. PJ Black, is pretty much a world traveler. Otunga is basically using his law degree in on the pre-show. Barrett's on NXT commentating. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I say D.
I said D on 2010. 2011, since you want to say everything is a D, I gave 2011 a C. And 2011 was Del Rio and the Money in the Bank cash in. That's my big homie. Orton versus Christian. Barrett versus DB. Which those were solid matches. Solid and notable matches. That's why I said at least a C. And then 2011, yeah, I said a C because of that. Dolph versus A-Rai Dolph with Vicky versus A-Rai. Nah. Morrison, Kofi, and Ray versus Truth and Miz versus and Del Rio in a 6-man decent match. Got some time, but it's whatever. Mark Henry versus Sheamus. That's what he do. Hall of Pain.
The beginning of the Hall of Pain.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I can't rate that low. That is like Mark's best run. Kelly versus Beth with the Divas of Doom like origin story. Because Beth lost this match, but then Natty made her say, "Stop it!" And Beth got the title off her like real much later. Christian and Orton, which is one of the 2K15 or 2K16's story arcs, a part of it, and Orton with that RKO on the steps. And the last, like, how Wikipedia has it, 2 matches, but it's really only 1 because the cash in was 5 seconds. Kevin Nash, man. So C.
A C?
Yep.
All right, we'll go for it.
2012, I gave
D.
I know you gave it a D. I gave 2012 a B.
A B.
Yes.
Why B?
So, of course, headlined by Brock and Triple H, which, shocker, Triple H actually lost a match later in his career, a singles match. CM Punk versus Big Show and Cena. Granted, it was Vicky can't keep her stuff to herself. Truth and Kofi versus PTP, which the primetime players were actually getting pushed at this time. Sheamus Del Rio, all right. Miz versus Ray, and they actually had some decent chemistry. Kane versus D-Bry before Team Hell. This was Team Hell Knows, like, origin story. Jericho and Ziggler with their stupid feud. Yeah, it's whatever. And then Cesaro versus, and this one actually sounded pretty good. I wish it would have actually been a little bit later that this happened in their careers instead of like when it did, but Santino versus Cesaro. And yeah, that's story that year to me, 2012. Give it a B. Not too many, not an offensive match outside of Sheamus Del Rio. Wish there would have been a women's match on the card. That was also a ding for me, but other than that, it wasn't an offensive card.
All right, we'll give it a B.
13, I gave also a B.
Well, if the ending was a shocker.
Yeah. Which, another Money in the Bank cash in after the main event. And this turned into really an 8 to 9 month storyline that lasted to Daniel Bryan's like big first retirement. Yes, the match before this was pretty much what it was supposed to be, but it was so bad, and it was doomed from where it got positioned on the card between Brock and Punk to Daniel Bryan and Cena. Yes versus You Can't See Me, only for you to bow down to those voices. And then on top of that, from a world title match to Natalya versus Brie Bella, and no title on the line, which made no sense. And then they all just get slaughtered by AJ Lee in like a few weeks. Undercard, Rafe, I came in on that burning ring of fire. And then, this was part of it.
Yeah, I think this was Bray Wyatt's first in-ring match.
Yeah. And then I didn't realize it, but Van Dam actually beat Amber by DQ for the US title. So this was during the Shield reign of dominance. It was just the only, and they had a little bit more diversity with the card for the women, but they doomed the women from the start because they put them sandwiched in between the world title matches and a Brock Lesnar match.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they were going to be doomed. But with all that being said, that's why I was like, oh yeah, nothing too crazy, but the end with another Money in the Bank cash in, it was a C for me.
All right, we'll go with a C.
Actually, let me take that back. It was a B for me. B for me, my bad.
All right, will be a B.
All right.
2014, the destruction of Cena and the should we say the original birth of Suplex City?
Before you said it, and this was a B. Because Roman versus Randy, co-main, I wish it would have. No, they only have one world. They fused the belts at this time, right? Before they split them again.
No. No,
this was the
they combined it.
Yeah, they were basically fused together.
Yeah.
Stephanie versus Brie, which, yeah. Jericho versus Bray. Seth versus Dean in a lumber. Rusev versus Miro versus Jake Hager in a flag match. AJ versus Paige. Dolphin Miz. Van Dam and Cesaro. Nothing really offensive on this card outside of you could think, why the heck is Stephanie versus Brie on SummerSlam when you could have 1,000 times better women's matches, let alone matches in general. But yeah, crazy. So I gave this 14 a B.
Huh. $2015.
B.
Yeah, I gave it a B too, even though the ending to the main event was controversial. But at least Undertaker at least got one on Brock Lesnar with all the few matches they had.
Yeah. I mean, they gave Cesaro and KO a decent spot. It was just they put it is that in the dead spot versus what should have won the dead spot, but the reason it wasn't the dead spot was the fact of what it was for the time. Team PCB versus Team Bad versus Team Bella. And then Seth versus Cena, winner in their winner take all that got interrupted with Jon Stewart.
Because I didn't want Cena to tie Ric Flair.
Ronan Dean versus the Wyatt family, Brian Harper. Ryback versus Big Show beat Big Show and Miz for the IC title, so he probably pinned Miz. Neville and Pac and Stephen Amell versus Barrett and Cody under the Stardust gimmick. Okay. Nice celebrity usage. Dolph versus Miro. Double count out. And this was like the dumb storyline where that only ended because Lana was dumb enough to put her engagement on social media. And then the New Day, PTP, Los Matadores, and the Lucha Dragons. Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship.
Yeah.
And the New Day, you already big match New Day struck. So I'm like, I'm happy.
Yeah, the start of New Day's longest tag team reign.
Oh, this was their long reign? This was their kickoff to that reign?
Yeah, this was the start.
Oh, okay. Now that actually helps me with a little bit of context. And I'm like, cool.
So we said 2015 B.
2015? 15, yeah, B. 16's B too.
16? Yeah, I'll agree with that one. Even though Finn got injured at the time.
Yeah, that's why it's a B is the injury.
So we go with that. With a B. Come on. Bam. There we go. 2017, I said a D or a C.
I said 2017, and I gotta pull up. 2017, I said C. And that's the end of my season 2017, which, yeah, it was just their card. Nothing real bad, nothing real okay. An over gimmicked match between AJ and KO when AJ was at the head of his WWE career. The Demon versus Bray in 2017, and it was just Bray. Sasha versus Alexa, and one of Sasha's transitional reigns as Raw Women's Champion. Orton versus Miro in a squash, which don't piss off Randy. Natty made Naomi tap out for the glow belt. Corbin got squashed by Cena. Extended squash by Cena as the opener on the main card. Big Show and Cass with Enzo in the shark cage. I gave 2017 a B. A C. I stick with that. I was debating whether or not do I want to put that in D. Nah.
I gave that one a D.
I said C on that one.
Fine.
18.
A night of squash matches. Squash matches.
18. I put that at B.
Yeah, I said B too.
B. Alexa and Ronda, Roman finally actually beating Brock Lesnar, which he just got fed to Strowman at that point. Jeff forgot to wear a cup. Finn versus Corbin. Miz versus DB, which that, by Wikipedia standards, that was the longest match on the card. The only other match that would have came close was Mox's return in Seth's corner versus Drew and Dolph. New Day versus Bludgeon Brothers, and the Bludgeon Brothers went psycho. R.I.P. Brody. Strowman versus KO for the contract, which that was just the Texas Avery match. The match where Charlotte got her face slapped off for just being Charlotte Flair. And the match where AJ went psycho for Wendy. There's so many like modern era memories from this card in 2018 that you're just like, it's a B. It's a solid show.
Yeah, I agree with that with a B. And then 2019.
What you handed first from 2 years ago?
I think I either put that in an A or B.
I put it as an A.
Yeah, I agree with an A on that one.
Charlotte versus Trish, even though everybody wanted Sasha, but Charlotte is this generation's Trish, whereas Leo would be the Sasha.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I would compare Trish to Charlotte and Sasha to Lita in this generation. The Fiend's debut, which that was crazy right before Seth finally shut Brock up again. And then the Iconics were on the pre-show, but then Becky and Natty before one of Sasha's random comebacks just to beat up everybody. Last night of, as we knew her, pink-haired Sasha and then blue-haired Sasha jumped Natty the next night. Olberg versus Dolph, which that was going to be a squash. AJ versus Ricochet, which at the height of Ricochet's popularity, decent. Bailey just had a women's title match against Ember Moon. Orton and Kofi, of who's dumber. Well, you both got counted out, so whatever.
He didn't say dumb. He said stupid.
I said the better who's dumber, just so it could actually make sense rather than who's stupider. Because stupider does not, like, by language make sense.
Yeah, but so 2019 we said A for that one. Now 2020.
I said D.
Yeah, the first the SummerSlam in the Thunderdome was
that kind of knocked it, but it was just the amount of rematches on this card that really pissed me off and made me want to just kill this card. And this also was part of the reason And I agree with, I think Asuka's the weakest Raw Women's Champion because they kept mashing her with the tag champs. And this was essentially like the golden role models were holding all the gold. Mandy and Sonya, this one, unfortunately, if you knew the backstory behind it, you knew what was going to happen because Sonya had to handle court cases. Orton versus Drew 2, I think this was.
No, this is first.
This is the first one, SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And then The Fiend versus Strowman, which didn't matter anyway because Roman just busted that stuff up anyway and won the title a week later.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the head of the table run.
Yeah. Which I enjoy the head of the table, but that was not the advertised like setup. So,
well, it had like I say, see it coming. Well, we never saw Roman coming,
and then he essentially said, "Hey, Heyman, love you, buddy." And then Paulie just wanted to do whatever. Yeah. Well, that was a long list. I'm about to go get some sleep.
And then for 2020, we put it as
D.
So yeah, but that's our summer ranking. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this so that you guys can take a look at it. So that's our rankings. So if you have your rankings on what you think was the best SummerSlam of all time, comment down below. Which were years would you think was the best? And then, even though this year's SummerSlam is still like kind of weak, but we're just gonna go. I'm just gonna go straight through it, and we're not gonna even voice our opinions on this one because we kind of already did for some of the matches. So Nikki SSH defending the Raw Women's Championship in the triple threat match between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. I just don't want Charlotte to win the championship again. Goldberg challenging Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship with another rematch from Money in the Bank, which should have been on the main card, but it was on the pre-show, and now we're getting it on the main card. The Usos defending the SmackDown Championship against father and son Rey and Dominic Mysterio. So, and then Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks 2 for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then a match 7 years, or I think 7 years in the making, Edge versus Seth Rollins. And then Sheamus defending the United States Championship against Damian Priest. And then, of course, the main event, Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against John Cena. So this year's SummerSlam will be on a Saturday. This will be the first since 92. This is going to be held on a Saturday. And then this will be the first of WWE pay-per-views to be air in theaters. So so check your local theaters to see where if you don't have Peacock or you're not gonna be watching a pay-per-view or you're gonna be watching in theaters, so check your theater listings or where it's gonna be at. But that's all of our topics for today. Let me know in the comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know what your thoughts and opinions that we just touched on today. And then, of course, if you're listening on Anchor, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, check your go to the YouTube link down below in the description and post your comments there. But and then let me make another announcement. I will be taking a break from the podcast next week because I will be going out of town, out of the country, or next week. But we'll be returning in 2 weeks with some more news there. But until further than that, and then of course we already mentioned the return of the Respect the Combat podcast on September 3rd. So be on Labor Day weekend. So be ready for that. But other than that, he's Donaze, and I'm Trico, And we're signing off. Peace.